Me and my brother are running for our lives. We're running to try to escape from that man who has every intentions on hurting us. We're lost and we don't have a way to find our parents. Both of our phones cannot pick up a service at all. We are on death's door. We're praying and hoping that someone will find us, because if we can't escape this woods, this man is gonna kill me and my brother. My name is Kelly. I'm the oldest of my younger brother, Ethan, who happens to be 11. We live with our grandparents. Our biological parents are deceased. They died in a car accident about 3 years ago, and every day we miss them. But we're grateful to our grandparents for taking us in. Currently, me and my brother are packing our stuff because our grandparents surprised us with a trip to Disney World. Me and Ethan were exhilarated. We've never went to Disney World before, so we got our stuff together and we got inside of our grandparents' car. They started driving and the trip was going to take about 17 hours. About 2 hours into the drive, my grandfather noticed something was wrong with the car. He got out and he noticed the car had 2 flat tires. Not only that, but my grandpa discovered that the battery for the car needed to be replaced, meaning that it was going to take us longer to get to Disney World. Hey, listen guys, I'm very sorry. There's a filling station that's like 5 miles away. I'm going to walk up there. I'll be back. But don't worry, we're still going to get to Disney World on time. Just give me about an hour or two, and I'll be back with the battery for the car, and then we'll be making our way to Disney World. I'm really sorry, guys. Just hold on. Just a little bit of a delay. We're still going to have fun. Don't let this dampen your spirits. I'll be right back, my grandfather told us. Wait, honey. Let me go with you. We need to get more snacks and drinks to hold us over until we get to our destination, my grandmother said as she was getting out of the car fumbling for her bag. After Grandma took care of everything she needed to take care of, she began to join our grandfather, and they walked it to the nearest gas station. Just before they left, my grandfather told us to stay in the car and do not go anywhere else. They would be back in about an hour. Hey Kelly, how about we go look in the woods? It looks interesting. There may be some cool wild animals there. We'll be back in the car before our grandparents come back, Ethan asked me with excitement and thrill in his voice. He looked at me with wide eyes, hoping that I would tell him yes, it was going to be all right. But my answer was different. I told him, Ethan, no, we got to stay in the car. You remember what Grandma and Grandpa told us? We got to stay right here. We shouldn't be going off anywhere. They'll be back within an hour. Oh, come on, Kelly. It's not even dark out. It's only 12 o'clock p.m. We got a lot of daylight. And besides, it's only going to be about 30 minutes. I always love the woods. I want to go explore in them. We'll be back. We're not going to go that far, Ethan protested. I sat back, rolling my eyes, puffing at the air, and then I finally told him, Fine, Ethan. We'll go out there and explore the woods, but we're only going to be out there for about 15 minutes, not 30, okay? Let me get the car keys that Grandpa left so I can lock up the car. We're not going that far either. You got it? Okay, let's go. Come on, Ethan said in an adventurous voice. Me and Ethan got out of the car. I made sure my phone was fully charged, and I made sure that his phone was fully charged. I made sure to lock up my grandparents' car, and we headed out into the woods. As we were walking in the woods, it really felt very hot and uncomfortable. It was around late July, so it was pretty hot. The humidity was so strong, it felt like a towel was over my face. It felt very uncomfortable, not to mention the large insects that kept on flying on me. It was really uncomfortable walking in that woods, but I did it for Ethan because it's something that he wanted to do. I made sure to remind him not to go too far. As we were walking, we came across an older woman who was going for a jog. We walked it past her, and she smiled at us as she continued to jog. Now, keep that older woman in mind. There's a reason why, but we'll get to that later. As me and Ethan were walking around the woods exploring, I heard some footsteps following us. I was going to turn around and see what was happening, but then I noticed Ethan He was pale, his eyes were wide, and he looked at me with so much fear that it was really chilling. I slowly turned around to see what Ethan was staring at, and there, standing right there in front of us, was an older woman. It wasn't the same woman we saw that was jogging, it was a different woman, and she looked really dirty. She gave us this really creepy, menacing smile. The smile felt so uncomfortable, it just made me really unsettled. Then the woman tilted her head towards the right and began to beckoning her arms very slowly. The way she was doing it, it felt so bone chilling. And the way she stared at us was so uncomfortable. Her eyes were wide open. She was drooling. She was acting like she was a lion and we were prey, ready to catch us and devour us. It just felt so wrong. It was like this woman can see through our souls. Ma'am, is there something I can help you with? I asked the woman, trying my absolute best not to sound nervous, but deep down inside, I really wanted to scream. I held on to Ethan's hands and I stand in front of him just to keep him safe because I didn't know this woman's intentions, but I can tell you, her intentions were not good at all. They felt so sinister to me, like she wanted to do something.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just making sure you kids are alright. Are y'all out here walking in the woods by yourselves? It's very dangerous out here. There are lots of wild animals and they can easily come and eat you guys up. Do you want me to help look for your parents?
Ew, get away from us, you creepy old lady. No one's going nowhere near you, Ethan vociferated. Stop it, Ethan. She obviously wants to help us, and I think we went way too far into the woods. I can't even pinpoint our grandparents' car. So I think we could use the help, okay? I said to him while keeping my eyes on the older lady. But deep down inside, Ethan was right. There was something not right with this woman. And clearly she wasn't all there. And there was no telling what this woman was going to do to us. She really was unpredictable.
Why, thank you, young lady. You sure do know how to treat an elderly woman properly. You need to learn from your big sister. By the way, my name is Helen.
She asked. Oh, it's Kelly, I replied to her with a nervous smile.
And I'm guessing the boy here with the smart mouth is Ethan. Am I correct?
Helen asked while turning her head towards Ethan, still giving off that sinister, uncomfortable smile. Yeah, you're correct. His name is Ethan, and I'm so sorry about my brother's behavior. He's more well-mannered than that, I said to Helen while side-eyeing Ethan. As we spoke to Helen, I started to feel more comfortable with her. It didn't seem like she was this creepy lady that was going around just stalking people. It seems like she was just misunderstood, and I felt really guilty about judging her based off of her appearance. But as I learned, and as Ethan learned, you always go with your instincts. And our first instincts was not good about this woman, and we were right. It started to get later. I tried to call my grandparents, but my phone did not have any signal at all. That's when Helen offered us a request.
Look, y'all, I don't feel very comfortable with y'all walking around in the woods. How about you come back to my cabin and I'll radio for some help so we can help look for your grandparents so you can get back to them, okay?
It was starting to get a little bit more later out, and I didn't feel like this woman was really bad at all. So I convinced Ethan and we decided to go with the woman. And besides, this woman didn't seem like a threat. She was a frail old lady that could barely even walk. As we were walking with her towards her cabin, Ethan still didn't feel very comfortable going to this woman's house. He had a very bad feeling about Helen. But I did my best to reassure him that she doesn't seem like a threat. As we approached her cabin, we noticed it was a very huge cabin. Matter of fact, it was a 2-story cabin. It was well built, and looked it really cozy. She then turned to us and said,
Okay, kids, welcome to my place. Make yourselves at home. I'm gonna radio the park ranger that I got 2 missing teens who need to be back with their grandparents. Y'all make yourselves comfortable. I'll fix y'all something to eat.
Helen went into another room while we sat down on the couch. I looked around our house and it was really big. Even seeing it from the outside didn't do it justice. Right when we walked in, there was a nice big living room. She had a bunch of animal heads plastered on her wall, like deers and bears, etc. There was a fireplace in the back of the living room, in the middle of the wall. It looked really nice and cozy as well. When you turn towards the right, once you enter into her house, you see the kitchen. And then on the other side, you see the rooms and you see the upstairs as well. The upstairs had 2 cases of stairs, and there were about 3 rooms if I had to be exact. This woman has a really lovely house, and I felt really welcomed. I couldn't believe that I thought that this woman was up to no good. But I should have listened to my instincts. I should have listened to Ethan's instincts as well. He warned me, and deep down inside I knew. What happened next set off a massive chain event that will traumatize both of us for the rest of our lives. As we were sitting down, hungry and tired from walking around in the woods, we noticed a noise that was coming from somewhere. It sounded like moaning. Ethan got curious. He said he thought it came from the bathroom. So he walked into the bathroom, and when he opened up the door, he didn't see nothing at first. I got up, heading towards Ethan, making sure I didn't see Helen anywhere. We heard the noise, and it sounded like it was coming from the bathtub. There was a shower curtain over the bathtub, but we can clearly hear someone in there. Ethan and I slowly walked towards the bathtub. Our hearts were pounding. I began to sweat, and I could feel my breath coming out of me, like I couldn't catch my breath because I just started to shake all of a sudden, like there was this fear creeping up onto me. We slowly walked towards the bathtub. I was the one that slowly pushed the shower curtains back. And when we pushed the shower curtains back, we saw something so horrifying. Both of us couldn't help but to yell and scream. In the bathtub, it was our grandparents. They had duct tape over their mouths and over their hands and legs. My grandma was on top of my grandfather. "Ethan, we need to save them," I shouted. Ethan replied, "Okay, I know. We need to look for some scissors or some knives." As me and Ethan were looking around for scissors or anything sharp to cut them loose from the duct tape, we heard a laugh. And then we turned around slowly and saw Helen. She had that evil, creepy smile, that stare that made us felt like she was looking into our soul. And this time, she was even more sinister than when we first met. She said to us,
Oh my, looks like you found your grandparents. But darn, you shouldn't be going around snooping around people's house. That's for your own good. You two, or should I say you four, are not leaving here alive.